A sinister discovery has rocked the quiet parish of St. Mary, where the body of a pregnant woman was found wrapped in a blue tarpaulin along the main road in Devon Pen on Sunday afternoon. The police are now seeking the public's assistance to uncover her identity and the circumstances behind this gruesome crime. It was around 4 p.m. when residents stumbled upon the chilling scene, a lifeless body, discarded like refuse, raising alarm and heartbreak in the community. The woman, described as of dark complexion, slim build, and appearing to be in her mid to late 20s, bore haunting signs of violence. According to Acting Superintendent Anthony Wallace of the St. Mary Police Division, her body showed evidence of strangulation, multiple abrasions, and was dressed in a white t-shirt, blue underwear, and black socks. Distinct tattoos adorned her chest, thighs, and right shoulder, offering possible clues to her identity. Tragically, the victim is believed to have been pregnant, deepening the sorrow and outrage surrounding her untimely death. Forensic experts meticulously processed the scene, and the body was transferred to a funeral home for a post-mortem examination. As investigations intensify, the streets of Devon Pen remain eerily quiet as residents grapple with fear and grief, haunted by the knowledge that a life, perhaps two, was cruelly snuffed out and left for strangers to find. The community of Hopewell is shrouded in shock and sorrow as investigators work tirelessly to uncover the cause of a devastating fire that consumed a two-story home on Camp Road, tragically claiming the life of 81-year-old Josephine McLaren. Josephine, who was just weeks away from celebrating her 82nd birthday on January 22, was found lifeless amidst the charred remains of the ground floor. The incident, which occurred around 11:30 a.m. on Saturday, has left the tight-knit community reeling with unanswered questions and heavy hearts. Neighbors were the first to notice smoke billowing from McLaren's home and valiantly fought the flames. But their efforts led to a horrifying discovery: the elderly woman's scorched body lying on the ground floor, a place she rarely ventured. The ground floor, typically occupied by the absent tenant, had been reduced to rubble, with a bed and other furniture obliterated by the inferno. However, the quick actions of nearby residents miraculously prevented the fire from spreading further, sparing adjacent homes. The community is haunted by the perplexing circumstances of Josephine's final moments. How did she end up in the tenants' quarters? And what sparked the blaze that stole her life? As the charred remains of the house stand as a grim testament to the tragedy, Hopewell grieves the loss of a cherished elder while grappling with the unanswered questions surrounding her untimely death. A chilling domestic dispute in Mandeville turned deadly Monday morning when police fatally shot a man, reportedly of unsound mind, as he stood poised to attack his elderly father with a machete. The horrifying scene unfolded at a house on DeCarteret Road around 8 a.m., leaving a community shaken and searching for answers. Deputy Superintendent Dennis Simmons, crime officer for Manchester, recounted the grim details to the press. 50-year-old O'Carey Gale had allegedly unleashed a brutal attack on his 77-year-old father, George Gale, using a machete to inflict severe wounds. When police arrived, they found George bleeding and crumpled on the ground, while O'Carey stood over him, the machete raised menacingly. Officers urgently commanded O'Carey to drop the weapon, but he refused, his stance suggesting he was moments away from delivering another devastating blow. In a split-second decision, police opened fire, bringing the life-threatening confrontation to a tragic end. Both father and son were rushed to the Mandeville Regional Hospital, but O'Carey was pronounced dead on arrival. George Gale, though in serious condition, is stable and receiving treatment for his injuries. The harrowing incident has left the quiet neighborhood reeling. What drove O'Carey to such violence? Could this tragedy have been prevented? As questions linger, the story serves as a stark reminder of the fragile line between conflict and catastrophe. Deputy Superintendent Simmons confirmed that investigations are ongoing even as the community grapples with the shock of a son turning against his father in such a brutal and irreversible manner. The quiet morning in Santa Cruz, St. Elizabeth, turned into a scene of heartbreak and horror as a hit-and-run driver left 48-year-old Althea Gale dead along the park main road. Now, the police are urgently appealing to the public for help in finding the driver responsible for this devastating act. Althea, a beloved street sweeper in the community, had been walking to church at approximately 6:30 a.m. on Sunday when tragedy struck. A speeding vehicle came out of nowhere, hitting her with brutal force before disappearing into the distance without stopping. The impact was fatal. Gale's lifeless body lay on the roadside, the morning air heavy with grief and disbelief. Jean Hilton, a relative of the deceased, recounted the chilling moment she heard the crash. At first it was just a sound, a sharp jarring collision that pierced the early stillness. But then came the horrifying realization. The hit-and-run driver remained at large, leaving a grieving family and a community desperate for answers. The police are urging anyone with information about the vehicle or the driver to come forward, pleading for justice for Althea Gale, whose life was cut short in such a cruel and senseless manner. As Santa Cruz mourns, the shadow of tragedy hangs heavy over the town, and the hunt for the person responsible continues. Born Grace LaToya Hamilton on August 6, 1982, in St. Catherine, Jamaica, Spice is a globally celebrated dancehall artist, songwriter, and actress. Known as the Queen of Dancehall, she has built an illustrious career with her bold lyrics, electrifying performances, and unapologetic personality. Spice's journey to stardom began in her teenage years, performing at local talent shows and honing her craft. After studying at the Edna Manley College of the Visual and Performing Arts, she gained attention in 2000 with a standout performance at the Sting Festival. In 2009, her collaboration with Vybz Kartel on the hit single Romping Shop catapulted her to international fame, breaking into the Billboard charts and cementing her place in the dancehall scene. Her career highlights include the release of her debut mixtape, Captured, which featured the chart-topping single Black Hypocrisy addressing colorism and self-empowerment. The project debuted at #1 on the Billboard Reggae Albums chart. Spice released her long-anticipated debut studio album, 10, in 2021, earning her a Grammy nomination for Best Reggae Album. Beyond music, Spice has become a savvy entrepreneur and a cultural icon. She launched her beauty line, Faces and Laces, in a clothing brand called Gracie Noir. She also gained wider recognition for her role on the reality TV series Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Spice's artistry is defined by her fearless approach to societal issues, from body image and empowerment to cultural pride. Her contributions have not only transformed dancehall, but have also made her a global ambassador for Jamaican culture.